Celestial Dominion, the echoes of war. In the silent void between stars and the sprawling nebulae of uncharted space, tales of ancient grudges and the rise of unlikely heroes wove a narrative of conflict, hope, and relentless survival. The galaxy of Illyria, with its myriad worlds and imperiled colonies, had long harbored secrets that many sought to expose and power that many craved to command. In this turbulent era, three lives, destined to intertwine, emerged as the harbingers of change. Arlen Miles was a soldier whose heart beat with loyalty to his people. Brianna Vale, a brilliant pilot haunted by lost memories, embraced both mysticism and science, and Cedric Holt, an engineer whose quiet genius belied a fierce passion, found solace in forging alliances among sentient machines. Their paths were interlaced by fate, setting off a chain of events that would span galaxies and epochs, challenging the very nature of duty, honor, and the cost of freedom. The story began on the frontier colony of Morden Prime, a rugged planet far from the glittering capitals of cosmic empires. Arlen Miles, clad in battle-worn armor and a resolve hardened by decades of warfare, patrolled the colony's battered perimeter. Rumors of a mysterious fleet lurking beyond the horizon had set nerves on edge. "Steady, men," he called to his ragtag unit, their voices barely audible over the howling winds that carried flecks of stardust. "We must prepare for an incursion, for I fear that destiny is knocking at our door." Meanwhile, aboard the sleek starship Aurora's Edge, Brianna Vale guided her vessel through debris fields with the deftness of a seasoned navigator. Beyond the cockpit windows, a kaleidoscope of cosmic wonders unfolded as alien suns illuminated distant constellations. Yet even in awe, Brianna's heart was shadowed by memories of a once idyllic existence now lost to the ravages of interstellar conflict. "I must find the truth behind these visions," she murmured to herself, scrolling through holographic archives that flickered with cryptic symbols and desperate pleas for help. Her ship's AI, a compassionate yet pragmatic being known simply as Orion, responded in a warm tone, "Captain, our course is set for Morden Prime. There is reason to believe that our fates are now inexplicably intertwined." Elsewhere, on the mining world of Carvus 9, Cedric Holt worked deep within the labyrinthine corridors of his automated workshop. Here, robots and artificial minds toiled under his careful direction, their metallic voices echoing with a strange blend of emotion and calculation. Cedric's latest creation, a sophisticated robotic envoy named Dax, had recently awakened with a spark of sentience that defied its programming. "Master, I have calculated a theory," Dax announced in its resonant tone. "The disturbances in the cosmic energy fields suggest that the impending war may ripple through the very fabric of existence. We must prepare for events beyond our understanding." Cedric's eyes shone with both pride and trepidation as he considered the ramifications of these revelations. "Then our work is far from over," he whispered, his mind already racing toward a solution that could unify scattered forces against an unknown enemy. The ensuing days saw the gravitational pull of fate tighten around the three protagonists. Arlen's unit confronted a sudden ambush on Morden Prime, a contingent of highly advanced alien warriors, shimmering with iridescent armor and wielding energy blades that cut through the night like lightning. In the midst of the chaos, Arlen rallied his surviving soldiers. "Hold your ground," he roared, his voice echoing with a mixture of authority and desperation. "Even if we fall, let our bravery light the way for those who remain." Blaster fire, clashing metal, and the shriek of collapsing structures filled the air. Amid the tumult, Arlen spotted a figure in a peculiar pilot's jumpsuit making a miraculous landing near the besieged facility. Brianna, guided by a force she barely understood, had landed her vessel on the outskirts of the colony at exactly the moment when Arlen's unit was most vulnerable. "You there, soldier," she shouted, emerging from the landing craft with determination blazing in her eyes. "I come with warnings from the stars and aid from unknown allies. We must unite our strengths if we hope to repel this invasion." Her words inspired a renewed vigor among the defenders as they scrambled to form a coherent defense. "I name you my comrades," Arlen responded as he clasped Brianna's hand. "We will face this storm together." In a far-flung sector of the colony, Cedric's workshop vibrated with urgency. As communication signals from Aurora's Edge and Morden Prime intermingled with data streams from distant observatories, his mind raced to connect disparate clues. "Dax," he said softly, "can you amplify our sensors to detect any craft or anomaly approaching from our cosmic periphery?" The sleek robot's sensors whirred as it processed Cedric's inquiry. "Affirmative, Master." The energy signatures indicate a convergence of forces, a grand coalition of alien warriors and robotic insurgents, driven by a singular, ominous purpose. This is only the beginning. The true war is yet to unveil its face. As the skirmish on Morden Prime escalated, alliances began to form under unlikely banners. Brianna coordinated a counter-assault from the skies. "All units, this is Captain Vale," she transmitted over the battlefield's COMM link, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Open a corridor to the central hub. Arlen, secure the perimeter, let no enemy pass." In the distance, the thunderous engines of Brianna's squadron roared as sleek fighter crafts looped in intricate formations, their pilots a blend of stoic veterans and wide-eyed recruits whose lives hinged on the mastery of these moments. Arlen, pinned beneath a cascade of enemy fire, saw hope materialize in the form of reinforcements. "Men, do not yield," he bellowed. Amid clouds of smoke and sparks, he advanced with the intensity of a man who already believed that sacrifice and valor were the twin pillars of destiny. His comrades fought fiercely, every heartbeat echoing the silent promise of survival. "For our families, for our future," they cried, and the reverberation of their united defiance transformed despair into a fierce, blazing rally. On the other side of the battlefield, as the conflict's tide ebbed and surged, Brianna encountered an enigmatic delegation of beings whose appearance defied common categorization. They were the Thalorians, an ancient alien race with luminous skin and eyes that conveyed centuries of wisdom. Their leader, a regal figure named Arinder, stepped forward. "Captain Vale," he intoned in a resonant cadence, "the cosmos has long whispered of discord sown through treachery and ambition. Join us in our collective struggle. Together, the old wounds can heal and the darkness that encroaches on our worlds can be thwarted." "We will join forces," Brianna replied, her tone reflecting both resolve and caution. "But know this, our coordination must be precise, for the enemy does not tire in its pursuit of conquest. Each moment stolen from unity deepens the abyss we face." Arinder nodded gravely, his voice echoing like a somber hymn. "Then let our union be forged in the fires of adversity and quenched by the will of a million souls. The stars themselves will guide our path." As the day gave way to the dim glow of alien moons, Cedric's workshop became the nexus of a secret communications network linking scattered defenders from across Illyria. He commanded his robotic allies and human technicians with a measured hand reminiscent of a maestro conducting a symphony of resistance. "Every sensor, every channel report any developments immediately," Cedric instructed, his voice calm yet imbued with urgency. "We must weave together the intelligence from every outpost, every rebel faction, and every colony. Only then can we decipher the enemy's true intentions." With Cedric's guidance, Arlen and Brianna began coordinating their maneuvers in real time, merging strategies and sharing crucial updates. Their radio transmissions crackled with tactical precision. "Arlen, we have confirmed the presence of enemy command vessels approaching from the northern quadrant," Brianna reported. "Divert your forces towards the eastern ridge and prepare for a pincer assault." Arlen's reply came with unwavering determination. "Understood, Captain Vale. We'll buy you time on the ground. May our sacrifices kindle the flame of hope." Thus, as the cosmic conflict accelerated toward a climax, each of the three protagonists found themselves in the eye of a storm far greater than any they had encountered before. Arlen's valor on the battlefields of Morden Prime ignited the spirit of resistance in the oppressed. Brianna's piloting brilliance redefined the art of aerial combat as she danced among the stars, and Cedric's ingenuity in repurposing ancient technology and modern robotics provided the backbone of a decentralized yet formidable defense. Their individual stories, once separate and scarred by loss, gradually merged into an epic narrative, a crusade against tyranny, an odyssey toward cosmic balance. The enemy, a coalition of rogue aliens and warped robotic entities led by a shadowy figure known only as Commander Zalvin, advanced with a ruthless efficiency. Zalvin, whose origins were shrouded in mystery and whose ambition seemed boundless, harnessed an ancient power that could warp space-time itself. "No resistance can hope to stand in the path of destiny," he proclaimed over the comms, his voice dripping with disdain. "Our reinforcements from the outer sectors are arriving. Soon, the entire galaxy will submit to the order we decree." In response, the united forces of Illyria marshaled under the banner of hope, an emblem that shone brilliantly against the backdrop of war. In a moment of heartfelt dialogue echoing through the chaos, Arlen confronted a dying enemy soldier. "Tell me, why choose the path of destruction? There is still time to repent, to find a better future," the battle-hardened warrior implored. The soldier's eyes, filled with regret and resignation, answered weakly, "I was told that surrender was weakness. Now, I realize only the strength of unity can heal the fractures of our broken worlds." These words, spoken in fleeting moments before the final silence of death, resonated across battlefields, planting seeds of doubt in the hearts of even the fiercest foes. As night fell, the battered colony of Morden Prime lit with fires that told stories of loss and fierce courage. Brianna, perched on the hull of Aurora's Edge, studied the wounded landscape beneath her. "The cost is immense," she admitted to Orion. "But within every loss, there is a lesson, every scar a reminder that we must fight for those who cannot." The AI responded softly, "Your spirit alone can galvanize hope, Captain. Even the distant stars shine because light overcomes the void." Brianna allowed herself a brief moment of vulnerability as memories of fallen friends and comrades melded with the steely resolve that had carried her thus far. Deep within the labyrinth of Carvus 9, Cedric recalibrated his systems, ensuring that every sensor pulse, every transmitted code, would contribute to the greater intelligence network. "Dax," he said, "synchronize with every available satellite. We need to pinpoint every enemy vessel and every allied outpost." Dax's metallic voice replied in a tone both precise and reassuring, "Synchronization complete, Master. The network pulses with information. I foresee an opportunity, a weakness in the enemy's formation near Sector 12. It is slim, but if exploited, it could shift the balance in our favor." Cedric's normally placid expression hardened with determination. "Then we must warn Arlen and Brianna immediately. Every second counts." High above the conflict, a council of war was convened by the Thalorians and human representatives alike. In this secret chamber aboard a repurposed battle cruiser, leaders debated strategies with hushed voices and sharp intellects. Arinder, luminous in his presence, spoke. "Our combined forces hold the key to repelling the dark tide. But we must embrace compromise, trust that the strengths of our differences will bind us as a single force." A human commander, General Marcus Reed, whose wisdom and scars from many battles made him a revered figure, countered, "We fight not for abstract ideals, but for the tangible future of every colony, every soul seeking solace in the stars. Unity is our only shield against the coming tempest." The meeting culminated in a unified strategy, a daring strike at the enemy's primary command vessel, a colossal dreadnought orbiting a dying star, from which Commander Zalvin radiated his malevolent influence. Brianna's pilots would commence a diversionary assault on the flanks, while Arlen's forces would engage ground units in a coordinated pincer movement. Concurrently, Cedric and his network of robotic allies would infiltrate the enemy's communication arrays and disable their command and control systems. "This is our moment," Brianna declared over the secure channel, her voice carrying hope and determination. "We strike when the enemy least expects it, a calculated gambit fueled by our collective resilience." The hours before the assault were heavy with anticipation and sorrow. As fleeting moments of calm fell upon the warriors of Illyria, Arlen found himself in quiet conversation with a trusted lieutenant. "In this fleeting silence, I see not only the cost of war, but also the value of every life that stands with us," he said, his eyes reflecting both regret and fierce hope. The lieutenant, a young recruit named Jonas, replied softly, "Sir, I have grown up hearing tales of valor and sacrifice. Today, I understand those stories are not tales but living truths. I'm proud to fight by your side." At the same time, Brianna strolled along the observation deck of the Aurora's edge, glancing at holographic star charts and the shifting patterns of galaxies far away. Orion's comforting presence filled the silence as if to remind her that she was not alone in this cosmic struggle. "Sometimes," Brianna confided, "I wonder if our fates were written in these distant constellations long before we came into being." Orion replied, "Your choices matter more than destiny, Captain. It is in the way you overcome adversity that you define your legacy." Her eyes brimming with both determination and a trace of melancholy, Brianna outputted a silent promise to herself that no matter how deep the darkness became, the light of hope would never be extinguished. In the subterranean heart of Carvus 9, Cedric prepared for the dangerous infiltration mission to cripple enemy communications. His hands trembled not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. "Dax, activate the silent mode and trail the enemy's data link," he commanded. Dax's sensors glowed with cool precision. "Instruction received, Master. I have set the parameters for stealth insertion. We will have access within moments." Cedric exhaled deeply. "Our work here is not for glory, but for preserving the future of every colony and every child who dreams of a better tomorrow." His quiet resolve steeled him for the task ahead. Soon, the United Resistance launched its audacious offensive. Brianna and her fleet of nimble fighters soared toward the enemy dreadnought, unleashing salvo after salvo of energy pulses that disrupted the vessel's outer shields. "This is Captain Vale, do not let up," she shouted through the COMM link, coordinating with stellar precision. Below, Arlen's ground troops advanced in coordinated waves through debris-strewn urban ruins, their collective battle cry merging with the distant hum of space engines and alien roars. "For freedom and for our fallen!" Arlen cried as he led the charge, sparks flying in the explosive night. In the depths of the enemy vessel, chaos reigned. The alien and robotic insurgents that had once commanded the battlefield now found themselves confounded by the relentless surge of unified opposition. Commander Zalvin, concealed in his personal sanctum, observed the unfolding events with a cold, calculating gaze. "They are bold," he mused quietly, his voice echoing in the dark chamber. "But boldness often precipitates downfall. I will show them the true meaning of despair." As his minions scrambled to re-establish communications, the delicate balance of power began to fracture. Deep within the metallic corridors of the dreadnought, Cedric's infiltration unit made contact with the enemy's primary data conduit. Dax, now stealthily integrated into the network, began rerouting and disabling critical systems. Through a secure link, Cedric's voice resonated, "This is Cedric Holt. I have breached your systems. Cease your transmissions and allow surrender, or face complete shutdown." A pause, heavy with the implications of impending defeat, followed before a distorted reply crackled over the line, "You presume to halt destiny, human? Our war has only just begun." Undeterred, Cedric pressed on, "Then know that we fight not just for ourselves, but for every soul whose light dare shine against your darkness." The confrontation between the forces of Illyria and Commander Zalvin culminated in a frenetic series of skirmishes that reverberated across space. Explosions rocked barren asteroids and shimmering energy fields as battles raged in every corner of the conflict zone. On Morden Prime's shattered battlements, Arlen led his men in a desperate but brilliant counterattack, utilizing improvised defenses crafted from salvaged relics and modern weaponry. "No matter how fierce the night," he roared during a lull in the artillery barrage, "we are the children of the stars, a truth that no enemy can ever rob us of." Across the void, Brianna deftly maneuvered her starfighters in intricate formations, evading enemy beams like dancers twirling in a cosmic ballet. Amid the chaos, she received an urgent update from General Reed, "Captain Vale, our scouts have located a weak point in Zalvin's dreadnought. Concentrate your fire at Sector 7, it may just be the chink in their armor that can bring down their command grid." With a nod of determination, Brianna rallied her forces. "Lock on and fire." Let every photon of our resolve strike true. The clash reached an apex when the dreadnought's resistance began to crumble under the dual assault of aerial precision and ground valor. In an audacious final stand, Arlen's unit breached the enemy's fortified central command area. A melee of clashing swords, energy shields, and desperate cries filled the chamber. Arlen's eyes met those of a fierce alien warrior, whose face was a tapestry of both rage and fatalism. "You fight for paper and fleeting ideals," the alien snarled. Arlen replied, voice resolute, "I fight for every heartbeat that yearns for freedom, for every soul that will rise anew even when darkness falls." Their duel, symbolic of the overarching confrontation between despair and hope, raged until the forces of unity proved overwhelming. With the enemy's communication backbone severed and command structures in disarray, panic spread through the ranks of Zalvin's minions. Commander Zalvin himself found his grip on power crumbling as dissent and chaos consumed his once mighty armada. In one final, desperate broadcast, he declared, "I will not be defeated by the frailties of mortal hope. You may shatter my vessel, but you will never shatter the inevitable cycle of war." His words, far from instilling terror, only spurred the united fighters onward, each word a challenge to the oppressive ideology they had long sought to vanquish. As dawn broke over the scarred battlefields of Morden Prime, the galaxy stood at a crossroads. The echoes of war had left their mark not only on the battered lands but also in the hearts of those who fought tirelessly for a brighter tomorrow. In the quiet aftermath of victory, Arlen tended to his wounded comrades, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "Today, we have reclaimed what was nearly lost," he whispered, a bittersweet smile playing on his lips. "It is not the end, but rather the start of a lasting peace built upon the sacrifices we have made." Aboard the Aurora's Edge, Brianna held a private memorial for the fallen, her eyes glistening with unshed tears as she looked out upon the awakening universe. "I promise," she vowed softly to the silent stars, "that your sacrifices will never be forgotten, and that every life lost will bring us closer to a testament of unity and hope. We will build our future on the embers of this victory." Meanwhile, in the subterranean corridors of Carvus 9, Cedric and Dax finalized the restoration of the communication network. "We sent more than just data," Cedric remarked quietly, as signals of Allied forces began trickling in from across Illyria. "We sent a message of defiance, a spark that will ignite the fires of rebellion against all who would subjugate us." Dax responded in its measured tone, "The network now pulses with the collective will of countless free souls. Our work has just begun." In the days that followed, the ripples of that monumental battle spread outward, transforming small colonies and isolated outposts into vibrant hubs of resistance united by a common dream, a galaxy where diversity, hope, and cooperation triumphed over tyranny and oppression. Arlen, Brianna, and Cedric continued their journeys, their lives forever intertwined as they built new alliances and healed ancient wounds. They encountered mysterious alien civilizations, engineered wonders that melded magic with technology, and faced down threats that transcended the boundaries of known space, all while the specter of war served as a harsh reminder of what was at stake. Yet amid the ceaseless clamor of conflict, the three heroes discovered that true victory was not merely measured in battles won, but in the enduring connections forged with every companion, every ally, and every resilient spirit that chose hope over despair. During a quiet moment beneath the radiant glow of a binary star system, Arlen mused, "We have witnessed the darkest parts of our souls, and yet, it is our unity that brings forth light. Let this be our legacy, a beacon in the vast expanse of the cosmos." In one final, sweeping convergence of destiny, the paths of these stalwart defenders wove together a tapestry of courage that would be remembered through the ages. Whether skirting the peripheries of collapsing wormholes, negotiating fragile truces with ancient alien guardians, or inspiring entire worlds to resist a legacy of oppression, Arlen, Brianna, and Cedric became symbols of the relentless spirit of Illyria, a spirit that dared to dream of a future where all beings could thrive in harmony. As the embers of war began to cool and the optimistic murmur of renewal filled the air, the combined forces of humanity, alien allies, and awakened machines set forth on a new campaign, not one of conquest, but of reconstruction, reconciliation, and the promise of lasting peace. They traveled together across war-torn systems, rebuilding shattered civilizations and developing bonds that transcended species and design. Dialogue between old foes and newfound partners unfolded quietly in starlit council halls and aboard starships that now served as roaming embassies of unity. "Let us remember this day," Brianna said during one such gathering, "not as the moment we lost everything, but as the moment we chose to rise and embrace our shared destiny." The galaxy, ever restless and turbulent, had been reshaped by conflict and healed by the resilience of its inhabitants. The sacrifices made, the alliances formed, and the bonds of fellowship among Arlen, Brianna, and Cedric echoed across time and space, inscribing a tale of perseverance into the cosmic tapestry. In the final analysis of their journey fraught with woe, valor, and quiet triumph, it was evident that every battle fought, every tear shed, and every hope kindled became the foundation upon which future generations would stand. And as the cycle of life continued amid the endless dance of celestial bodies, their legacy burned on like a guiding star, illuminating the path toward a realm where freedom and peace might prevail. If you enjoyed the story, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and check the description to find out how you can support my work.